So I hope.
Oh, you had it. That's it.
I know. Hey guys, this is Josh Pomerleau and Brian McWhite. We're with the Pomerleau team, and we are filming another episode of Teaming Up.
That's right. We believe that real estate teams are the future of real estate, and we want to provide some great resources for you, some great videos, and bring you along with us in this journey.
Or Reese's. That'd be good too.
Lots of Reese's as well.
I could have some Reese's. One thing that we, when we're hiring people, one thing that, people are like, what separates, someone that comes in the door that you don't hire to what you do hire, and past trajectory of success is just a huge, it's a huge thing for us where people could easily miss that and just kind of maybe just even gloss over it or just use it as a kind of a side point. But that's one of our biggest things that we're looking for.
That's right. Successful people leave evidence. They leave a trail of clues to demonstrate their success in the past. We don't just look at resumes, obviously, and call references. Of course, we do those things. But we really want to see where has someone been successful along the road. And it doesn't have to be conventional things. It doesn't have to be that they graduated from college. It doesn't have to be that they've finished a degree of some kind. It can be that they were a captain of their sports team. It can be that they sold Girl Scout cookies, but they always dominated it.
Yeah, number one. And then beat up people along the way.
They're always the best at it. Whatever it is, we're looking for evidence of a track record of success before we hire anybody.
One great book that talks a lot about that is The Rare Find. I really like that book because when I picked that up, I'm like, hey, this is what we do. I mean, a lot of our people here have college educations, but college education isn't even the biggest thing that we're looking for. I want to see that someone that did something, someone was so hungry, growing up in whatever capacity of what they did, whatever that looked like. But we're always looking for one or two things that we can say, oh man, that guy, that person, that girl, that guy took the ball for it and made something happen in their lives. Because if we don't, that's been one thing when we've found people that we've hired and we've gone through that 100-day process, that 150-day process of when we're trying to validate if this was the right hire or not. That's been one thing where it's come up again and again and again where we said, well, everything else checked out. The references, the behavioral style,
but where
all that.
Is their past trajectory of success?
And I say look for that, and that will, everything else matters less, because if they were successful, they're going to make, and then you think this is exactly what they would like to do, they're going to make this work one way or another, and you maybe even not even know why, but they're gonna.
That's right. But you mentioned behavioral style, which is a really, really key piece of it as well. For every role that we have on the Pomerleau team, we have a specific behavioral style that we're looking for, and we test and we interview rigorously for that.
And I was actually talking to an agent, a newer agent this weekend that was on another team, and they didn't even know his personality profile. Now that said, I think it's gonna work out for them. But
we don't want to rely on luck, though.
Yeah, exactly.
we want to find the right person.
Flip a coin, woo, woo. Oh, this will work or not. And that's huge. I mean, not relying on luck is exactly like you do in any business or any situation. You're trying to eliminate all the obstacles that could get in the way from making wrong decisions. And the behavioral assessment that we use is called the AVA. It's part of the Recruit Select process that Keller Williams has. It's actually done by Corporate Consulting down in West Virginia. But every assessment that we send out is $250, and I think it's not cheap, and I think a lot of people.
But it's a lot cheaper than making the wrong hire and then having to waste money on them and then fire them down the road.
Exactly, you're just investing in the future. To make a good decision now versus a bad decision later, and the bad decision later is going to cost you way more money than all the behavioral assessments that you do. And we do way more behavioral assessments on people that we don't hire. And I'm just shocked that people, I think either they probably don't understand how important it is. And then maybe some people will say, you're going to spend all that money on one person. My thing is, well, when you're hiring, you're usually hiring one person at a time.
Right.
In our businesses, we're not hiring 500 people. We're doing $250 every second. We're talking about doing $250 a handful of times on one person. And it's just the best expense that you're ever going to have.
And if you think about the cost of hiring the wrong person and having to let them go, not only in terms of whatever package they go with, but also in terms of the time lost,
morale
to the company and things like that. You could do tough. 50 AVAs, pay for all of that, and still come out ahead.
Yep. And so one final thought about the behavioral assessment, I think that's tough for people to get around because, we're in a lot of groups where people talk about we're looking for this behavioral assessment, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people use the DISC, and I'm not saying that the DISC won't work. But I also think that some people get too caught up in the behavioral assessment because behavioral assessment, from my experience and from what I've talked to even corporate consulting, it's only a part of the picture. And I've heard a lot of people say that, hey, that's 25%, because I'll have, someone come in my office and say, well, this doesn't look good. And we go back to point number one was past trajectory. And I'm saying, well, they've done past trajectory of success. And then we get to the references and we have 10 references that say this is the best person. If you miss out on this person, you're gonna be sorry. And then that's where I take the behavioral assessment, I put it off to the side a little bit, and I go, well, everything else lines up. It makes sense to take a jump here.
Right. Yep. And so then the question is whether they're the right fit for the culture of the company.
Yep, exactly.
That's a big deal for us too. We look for people who are, this is going to go without saying, I hope, but we look for extremely driven people who are really pushed to be successful, not just people who want to occupy a desk and take a salary.
Yeah.
We want to cultivate this culture of excellence in absolutely everything that we do.
Yeah, and I think one-on-one, one hire at a time with that kind of belief system, that's how you wake up and all of a sudden have a culture, and a lot of our culture, it is to dominate and do better, and we always want to do better, but those kind of people also want better lives. They want to have time with their family, and I think and if you do that on every single hire and you start with one, all of a sudden you're going to look up in 4 or 5 years and you're going to have 10 or 20 of those type of people. And it's going to just feel like a family.
I'd say that our ideal person at the Pomerleau team is actually somebody who is so good at their job and so obviously committed that they can step away whenever they need to and be with their family and take time for themselves. And nobody ever questions, well, but are you taking too much time? Because they already know that person's just crushing it.
Yeah, right.
And we want to affirm them and say, absolutely, you're dominating. Take time with your family.
Just kind of a bonus thing to this video is that people always ask, almost every single time I do a class and we start talking about team success, they say, what do you do for accountability? And I'm not saying there is zero accountability, because we do talk 411s and we talk goals and but it's more about what do we all want to do together? What do they want to do? What does this person want to do? And we all meld it together, and then that's what we hold ourselves accountable to. Mm-hmm. But it isn't about one person making a decision, because everyone here wants awesomeness.
Right.
And that's, again, if you just go one at a time, you're going to wake up and you're going to have 20 people that want awesomeness, and then together, all rowing in the same direction, you can get almost anything done.
Right. We're gonna make projections and numbers and goals and all those things, and we want to hit them. And we talk about what happens if we don't hit them. Yep. But we never have to have the conversation about, are you working hard enough to hit them? Because we all are working really hard. Exactly. We all are working really smart. We're all extremely dedicated.
Yep. Exactly.
And we're not going to hire anybody who's not.
And that solves the whole problem. And just, I don't know how you feel about that on the other side of this camera, but at the end of the day, when you got people that want it just as bad as you, it just takes all the pressure off.
Well, it drives you forward.
Right, exactly.
And when you're having a bad day, it motivates you as well, because everyone around you is rolling really hard.
And everyone wants the next thing and do awesome. So
thanks for joining us for the Teaming Up Show. We're going to be right back here on our next video talking about who and when should be our first hire.
Yeah.
We believe that teams are the future of real estate, and we want to bring you with us on that journey and help you along the way, and we're really excited about that.
Let's make it happen.
That's right.